if I'm easy work, I heard him say I'm easy work. If I was easy work, you would take all that money that he's offering you. But yet and still, he want 200 million for Benavidez, and he want 150 million to fight me. So that just lets me know right there that I'm a threat to him. I'm a threat to him. I'm a threat to his legacy, because it would be crazy for a guy that started at 135 to come all the way up to 168, your weight, no catch weight, no none of that, and dethrone you.
The one thing that I respect about Your Excellency and Turkey is he wants to make the best fights. That's basically it. And a lot of fighters, they outprice themselves, therefore the fans lose, and we can't watch those fights. But now Turkey's coming in, paying money, but he's not paying absurd amounts of monies that fighters are not, worth. He's being reasonable. He's paying premiums, but perfect example is Canelo wanting $200 million to fight against Crawford. In other words, that means he doesn't want to fight. That's basically it. So I just feel that Turkey is a breath of fresh air. He's making the fights that people want to see, and we're all working together.
In a surprising turn of events, Turki Alalshikh has seemingly severed any future collaboration possibilities with boxing superstar Canelo Alvarez. Alalshikh took aim at Alvarez after the Mexican champion dismissed the idea of working together under any terms other than his own. The incident happened during a press conference in Beverly Hills where Canelo Alvarez talked about a possible offer from Alalshikh to fight Terence Crawford. Alvarez expressed his discontent with Alalshikh's attitude.
I don't really care about it. Look, I'm focused 100% on my fight, and I don't really care about it. They called me yesterday. They text me yesterday if it's possible to talk about the Crawford fight for February or meet to yesterday here in Los Angeles with him. And I say, look, I'm 100% focused on this fight, and I can talk about other fights. Maybe that's why he talked about that today, because I say I'm not ready to talk about other fights. And I don't really ask him for anything. I'm good.
Alvarez was dismissive about the possibility of fighting Crawford due to the difference in weight class. However, the Mexican star said he will entertain the fight for the right price of $150 million previously.
Canelo, Johnny Boy Boxing, Fight Hype. I just want to ask you, what do you think about Terence Crawford? What do we think about Terence Crawford's performance, and do you want to get a fight with him?
If the money is right, I mean...
$100 million? I heard Turkey offered you a big money already.
Turki Alalshikh himself said that he had offered the Crawford fight to Canelo during the Matt of Crawford fight event.
Are we going to see Terence Crawford versus Canelo?
As I tell before to the ESPN, I give him the offer. If he's smart, he will accept it.
However, Canelo's request may come off as a less than sincere ask, and Alec has apparently moved on from the possibility since the Mexican legend made the statement. Alec took to social media to give an update on his business in the world of boxing, and he stated he no longer wanted to fight against Canelo. Turkey posted, just wrapped up an important meeting now, with my team planning for the future fights that we will make for 2024 to 2025. This statement marked the end of the possible mega fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, sparking discussions across the boxing community. Alalshikh's tweet revealed a deliberate pivot toward the US market, emphasizing his intent to create more important chances for boxing legend Terence Crawford. All further added, I chose to disregard the Canelo fight as I don't want it anymore. Instead, I will be focused on the US market with bigger fights, especially for the legend Crawford. Canelo didn't like the way Turkey approached him for the future fight and said that if the Saudis want to work with him, they have to work on Canelo's terms. In reaction, Alalshikh, who has gained prominence in the boxing world with major funding from the Saudi crown, publicly accused Alvarez of avoiding challenging fights. Alalshikh's response seemed to close the door on any future partnership. Turkey posted, I heard what Canelo said, that he respects me but doesn't like the way we do business. Whether he respects me doesn't matter. As for the way I do business, I know why he doesn't like it, because I only target big fights at fair prices. So of course anyone who likes easy fights won't like that. He further continued, and I know how he feels after losing to Bivol, so he's been looking for easier fights ever since. Also, I'm not the one who's afraid of fighting David Benavidez or Crawford. Therefore, I knew he was wasting our time and making excuses with big amounts of money that can't be paid, so I'm continuing my way to make big fights that serve the boxing world, and he's on his way to making easy show-only fights. Canelo Alvarez then replied to His Excellency's critical post with a crying emoji, signaling his indifference about his views. Indeed, Alvarez doesn't seem bothered by Turki's comments because he needs him and not vice versa.
It's crazy and it makes me laugh with all the antics that Canelo is doing and saying in the media and whatnot about the size, and he won't get no credit and all this type of things. But Canelo been fighting smaller guys his whole career. Canelo been making his own catch weight for years. You know, Canelo fought a smaller Mayweather. Canelo fought a smaller Amir, not Amir Khan, but Amir Khan.
He did at 155.
Amir Khan. You know, he fought Jamel Charlo, and I'm pretty sure he didn't make as much money with all those guys except Mayweather, even Berlanga right now, that he will with me. But yet and still, you know, he have all these excuses why he don't want to take a fight with me. If it's all about business, then you doing good business. If I'm easy work, I heard him say I'm easy work. If I was easy work, you would take all that money that he's offering you.
Eddie Hearn thinks Canelo's money demand is because of the risk he'll take in order to face an opponent like Crawford, who would have to jump to more divisions to face Canelo.
Oh, I mean, it's one thing. I mean, I wouldn't think that Canelo watched Crawford on Saturday and was afraid of fighting him at 68. I think for Canelo, it's more about the credibility he gets through victory. I think he's a little bit concerned, having spoken to him in the past, that if he beats a guy that's coming up from 147 to 168, is he really going to get the respect for that? So we'll see. I mean, money talks. You know, if it's the right deal, he'll always take the fight.
All of this did not stop the Mexican from giving his thoughts on Crawford's recent win against Madrid. Canelo stated for me that I think that Crawford lost the fight, or it was a draw, or it could be the other side. He knows why weight classes are there now. Yeah, he has been bringing my name a lot lately because he wants to sell the Madrimov fight. If they don't talk about me, they don't sell anything. If the money is right, I don't like athletes who move around the weight classes. There has been much pleading from fight fans and media for Canelo to test himself against the dangerous super middleweight David Novitz, but Alvarez has called for a gigantic payday to take such a high-risk fight instead. The 34-year-old champion has bagged paydays against lesser competition despite public pressure. Someone who has never been shy to speak his mind is former UFC division champion Conor McGregor, who took to XCOM to share his thoughts on Canelo's selling power and about going head-to-head with the UFC on the same night as UFC 306, which takes place at the $2.3 billion The Sphere show. Canelo is a cornflake. McGregor wrote he continued he has about 300K pay-per-view buys in him. He does not generate anything near what he wants to be paid. UFC NOS is going to run them from the strip. Sheikh Tory was right. Moving on, Canelo doesn't sell. Oscar de la Hoya thinks that Canelo is outpricing himself and criticized him for asking for $150 million to fight Crawford. Oscar thinks that Alec is right for calling out Canelo's ridiculous demand.
Like Turkey's not interested in making Canelo Crawford, maybe Virgil Crawford, if, Virgil gets past.
Absolutely. I think, look, the one thing that I respect about Your Excellency and Turkey is he wants to make the best fights. That's basically it. And a lot of fighters, they outprice themselves, therefore the fans lose, and we can't watch those fights. But now Turkey's coming in, paying money, but he's not paying absurd amounts of monies that fighters are not, worth. He's being reasonable. He's paying premiums, but perfect example is Canelo wanting $200 million to fight against Crawford. In other words, that means he doesn't want to fight.
Canelo has been open about Crawford being an easier fight for him before having a beef with Alec. Canelo said, I think Crawford, don't get me wrong, is a great fighter, but for me in my weight class, it's an easy fight. Easy money if the money's right. I don't like to fight guys like Crawford because he moves a lot and the fight is not that great. I saw his last fight, and he doesn't move that much now. If the money's right, why not? I know in his mind he thinks he can do whatever he wants because he's very skilled, but that's why there are weight classes, and he knows now. Crawford would need to move up to weight classes for the fight from super welter to super middle. Later in the interview, Canelo addressed Benavidez, the man most in the sport feels deserves his shot more than anybody, and said he would take the fight for no less than $200 million. He then explained why calling the 27-year-old a risk is a feeling he doesn't hold for Crawford. Canelo added that obviously Benavidez is a risk. He is a great fighter, and plus he brings to the ring on fight night 25 pounds more than me, but I don't care about that if the money is right. I can beat that guy tomorrow. Tired of waiting for the fight, Benavidez has chosen to campaign at light heavyweight for the foreseeable future, but Canelo fighting Edgar Berlanga doesn't help his cause. Many think that Canelo is ducking David Benavidez because he knows he would lose Crawford's fight. This is also a big lose-lose situation for Canelo, where he thinks he won't get much credit to win the fight. That's why he's asking for such high prices to fight both Crawford and Benavidez's next opponent. Edgar Berlanga knew David Ben's name would be mentioned, and when it was brought up, Berlanga didn't pull any punches. He said, "I don't want to hear Benavidez." Berlanga said, "FK Benavidez." A lot of people just keep saying Benavidez and all these guys, you'll know it's not going to happen, and that's just that. September 14th, Berlanga Canelo following the press conference. Berlanga had additional words for any critics who think it should have been Benavidez challenging Alvarez and not him. He further added that those are haters. Man, and all those people out there, they're going to still buy the pay-per-view. They're going to still talk. Floyd Mayweather Jr. became Floyd because he had so many people hating him, right or wrong. Floyd became Floyd because of the hate. If Floyd never had the hate, Floyd would never be who he was. You need that, and I'm used to that hate he tacked on. I go on social media and see things, and that are me because the best victory is when it's won and you could shut all the haters up. That's the best feeling. Berlanga's father trainer Edgar Berlanga Sr. agrees with his son, also dismissing Benavidez's name. He stated, "I don't care about that. We got the fight, and we're going to beat Canelo." There was a moment during Tuesday's Canelo Alvarez Edgar Berlanga held a news conference in Los Angeles when Berlanga called out Caleb Plant, who was sitting amongst the media.
This level is intelligence and IQ, and we're not going to end up like that. I got knocked out. Caleb.
All right, card.
Yeah.
All right, let's turn things back over.
Stop
Caleb,
the cap,
Caleb.
no?
Take it easy. I'm gonna take care of him for you. I promise you. I promise you.
Caleb,
That's for you,
shut
hey, buddy.
You
that's
lucky
for
you
you.
get smacked. Go and shape
You
your
think
beard.
he got more IQ than you?
What you say? That what?
Canelo.
What you say?
Canelo kept speaking with Berlanga directly, saying you think you have more IQ than Floyd Mayweather and Miguel Cotto than eyes. Landy Lara, come on, bro, you're nothing. Take it easy and wait because your turn is coming upon. Berlanga constantly telling him you're going to see Alvarez was annoyed enough to make a bold prediction for their September 14th fight. He said, "I'm going to let you have 8 rounds, just 8 shots. You're going to feel pain. 8 rounds from there, you're finished. Mark my words." Their heated exchanges continued after the press meeting when Alvarez told Berlanga, "You think I'm scared of you? I beat many like you. You're nothing." Canelo himself knows that Berlanga is not much of a threat for him, which is why he's picking easier fights in the latter part of his career. However, there are many who still want Canelo to face Benavidez, despite the fact that Benavidez has moved up a weight class now. Stephen A. Smith doesn't like the idea of Canelo facing Crawford next because he thinks the size difference would be too much for Crawford to handle. Instead, he wants Canelo to face Benavidez because Stephen thinks that Benavidez is the best in the 168 class. He stated, "I hate this game. I don't like it one bit. I think Crawford is the best pound-for-pound fighter on the world, and Canelo is also among them, but Canelo is fighting at 168, which means he's walking heavier. I want what all boxing fans want. We want the current defending super middleweight champion fighting against another super middleweight champion in David Benavidez. David doesn't deserve to be forgotten. David Benavidez is worthy to have a money fight with Canelo because he has proven himself to be the best, and to think that Canelo won't fight him and choose someone who's 3 divisions below him in Crawford just doesn't seem fair." Robert Garcia thinks that Canelo wouldn't want to give Benavidez a shot because he has the power to do so, but he also said that he would love to see a fight between the 2 boxing titans.
I personally think that Benavidez is going to stay at 175 because I don't think him versus Canelo is going to happen. I think there's already been so much talk, so much saying back and forth to a point where Canelo is going to say, why? I just don't want to give it to him. You know, Canelo has that power. You know, he doesn't need the fight against Benavidez. To us, I would love to see them.
Garcia thinks that Benavidez has the tool to beat Canelo, but you can never count out a legend like Canelo. He claimed that Canelo is so talented that he could actually win this fight. I truly feel like Benavidez has the tools to beat Canelo, but I could be wrong. He also thinks that Canelo is not afraid of fighting Benavidez, as he has faced them all. Canelo has fought everybody. I don't think he's afraid. I think he's too proud, and just saying that I can do anything I want. I don't have to please everybody that's asking for this fight. He's like, I don't have to please Benavidez or his dad, who have said things about Canelo that weren't too nice. He'll be admired for giving the boxing world this fight, but he didn't have to, so why blame him? Floyd Mayweather thinks that Canelo should be tried against a fighter like Benavidez instead. He said if it were up to me, we'd want to see Benavidez face Canelo. It's time for Canelo to stop cherry-picking opponents and take on a real threat like Benavidez. Floyd thinks that Canelo should face David in order to cement his reputation even further. Novitz is a hungry lion, and Canelo needs to step up to face him if he wants to prove he's truly the best. I respect Canelo's accomplishments, but dodging Benavidez only raises questions about his desire to take on real challenges when asked who he thinks would have an upper hand during a potential fight between Canelo and Benavidez. Rio says that there's no question that Canelo is an elite boxer, but right now David is just too quick and hungry for him to handle. Rio stated David beats Canelo. He's too fast. He's too hungry. Canelo's a good fighter, though I'd take off my hat for him. He's a talented Mexican boxer who has done a lot. He'll definitely go down in the history books as one of the best to ever do it, but right now, when I watch Canelo live, I think David beats him. Oscar de la Hoya also thinks that Benavidez would knock Canelo out if the fight ever happens. He thinks that Benavidez is young and has a high rate of jabs, which could trouble Canelo.
He knocks him out. Benavidez is a monster. He throws. Benavidez throws literally an average of above 50 to 55 punches a round. Canelo, Charlo, in the first round, they threw one punch combined. I'm not talking to you as, oh, I hate Canelo, oh, I hate Benavidez. No, I'm talking about a boxing expert. Those are the facts. That's reality on paper. Now, what happens in the ring and the bell rings, I don't know. If Canelo lands that one bomb that he always throws, the right hand, I mean, it's sayonara. It's game over for Benavidez. But I think Benavidez, because he's young, because he's strong, because he's very versatile and throws a lot of punches, it's going to create problems for Canelo.
Mike Tyson is a big fan of Benavidez and thinks that he would win if a fight between him and Canelo ever happens. Tyson is so confident in Benavidez that he is sure that he would even beat Dimitri Bivol. Mike stated Benavidez is my guy. I think he can beat anybody in the division. I love Canelo, but he's not going to beat him. He's a little past his prime. I think he could even beat the guy who beat Canelo. Dimitri Bivol Jim Lampley remained truly in Rabin's boxing acumen. However, when he compared it with Canelo, he gave the legend status to the 612 record holder. Lampley remarked, first of all, Davis Benavidez is cosmic, exciting, spectacular, etc., but you're talking about the evidence of one fight. Canelo Alvarez, you're talking about the proof of 70 fights. Jim further added, I don't know enough about David Benavidez to say to you, oh, he's going to beat Canelo Alvarez. He's going to knock out a guy that nobody else has really been able to put on the mat. Do I think David is a cosmic puncher the biggest I've ever seen at that weight? I do believe that Jim questioned people who think that Canelo is afraid of Benavidez. He thinks, why would Canelo not fight Benavidez if he had fought Gennady Golovkin twice? Do I believe that it's a fight I've got to see that has to happen? It needs to take place in the wake of this. I've never seen Canelo back down from a fight. He fought General Golovkin twice. Why would he be scared of David Benavidez? Rio Valenzuela thinks that if Canelo fights Crawford first, then the chances of him fighting Novitz would become very slim, but he also believes that David should get a shot at Canelo because he deserves it.
I keep saying, if the money's right, so I think the money will be right, eventually. It depends which route Canelo goes, though. It sounds like Terence Crawford, the Saudis want to make that fight happen, so if he fights Crawford, then I think it'll be less likely he'll fight Benavidez. But, yeah, hopefully David gets it. I think he deserves it. He been the best for the minute.
So what are your thoughts about this situation? Do you think that Turki is right about Canelo having easier opponents?
The one thing that I respect about Your Excellency and Turki is he wants to make the best fights. That's basically it. And a lot of fighters, they outprice themselves, therefore the fans lose, and we can't watch those fights. But now Turki's coming in. paying money, but he's not paying absurd amounts of monies that fighters are not, worth. He's being reasonable. He's paying premiums, but perfect example is Canelo wanting $200 million to fight against Crawford. In other words, that means he doesn't want to fight. That's basically it. So I just feel that Turki is a breath of fresh air. He's making the fights that people want to see, and we're all working together.
Do let us know in the comments section below if you liked this video. Make sure to subscribe and check out some of our other videos on the screen right now.